Hello and welcome to day 7 of the Christmas Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing a new Christmas paper craft project every day for 20 days. After yesterday's challenge of a project, we're going back to something a little bit simpler today with this layered bauble card. This is an excellent card design for using up your card scraps, as you only need little bits for all of these hanging baubles. Let's find out how to make it. If you haven't already registered your free ticket for the Christmas Craft Countdown, go to craftwithsarah.com/CCC to do so. Once registered, check for an email from me with subject line Christmas Craft Countdown ticket information, or any of the other emails from me that you've been sent throughout this countdown. Can't find them? Check your junk or spam box to see if they've gone there by mistake. These emails contain the link to view the countdown projects and download today's files. Scroll down the page to find today's project. Click the button to start the files automatically downloading to your computer or mobile device. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you have missed some, check out the Instant Access Bundle at craftwithsarah.com/CCC bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files from the Christmas Craft Countdown. All downloads come in zip folders. You need to unzip them before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, open up Cricut Design Space and start a new project. Go into Upload over on the left and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find a file on your computer or drag and drop it in. The file to use in Cricut Design Space is the one called SVG Card Baubles Craft with Sarah. As long as you choose the one which starts SVG, that is the correct one. So I'm going to click and drag that in, and then it will appear like this with all of the layers in their place. Press Upload, and then when it's uploaded, you can click it in your recent uploads and then press Add to Canvas. It should load in at the correct size, which is 10 inches wide and 7 inches tall. If yours has come in at a different size, then just change the width to 10 inches and the height to 7 inches. This is ready to cut out as it is now, but what I like to do first is add a score line down the middle of the card so that I know exactly where to fold. To do that, first click on the design and then press Ungroup over on the top. Hide the bottom layer, your base card, by hovering over it in the Layers panel and click the eye icon. Select the rest of the layers by pressing Select All, and then group them by pressing the Group button. Now you can hide all of these in one go by clicking the eye next to the title of the group. Let's turn that base card back on, and if you want to make it easier in the future, you can double click on the name in the layer and just call it base card, just so you know exactly which one it is at a glance. To add the score line, go into Shapes and then choose the score line. Make it the same height as the card, which is 7 inches. And then press Select All and Align and Center to put it exactly in the middle of the card. We need to tell the Cricut that we actually want it to do this score line on the yellow card. If you don't do this step, then it will just score a random area on your cardstock and not where we want it to go. So make sure these two layers are still selected, your score line and the base card, and then down the bottom of the Layers panel, press Attach. Go into Arrange and Center Back to put this right back behind all of our other layers, and then we can turn these back on by clicking the eye icon next to that group. You don't need to put this back into the correct position, but I like to just so that I remember exactly how it all should look. When you're happy with how it's looking, press Make It, and this will separate everything out into the different colours. You can change the paper size over on the left, and then rotate things around so that they use up less space by clicking the rotate arrow and dragging with your mouse. If you press the Shift key down while you do this, you can get it to go exactly 90 degrees. So now I've got all of this space at the bottom of my card that I'll have left over that I can use in another project another day. You do need to make all of those changes for all of the different paper sizes. So for example, on this one as well, I'd probably do that, and then it will use up a little bit less space. So go ahead and sort out all of your sheets of cardstock, and then when you're happy with how it's all looking, press Continue to connect to your Cricut machine, get everything cut out from your cardstock, and then we'll see how to stick it all together. Here are all the layers of my card cut out, and I've laid them one on top of the other to check I'm happy with the colours and that I haven't missed anything out. I've used lots of sparkly cardstock for this one, so my outside is all silver, and then if you have a look at the solid layers of the baubles, it is all going to fall apart because nothing's stuck yet. They've got a nice little glitter pattern on them too, just to add a bit of extra Christmas cheer to the design. We're going to be sticking this together with a combination of glue and 3D foam squares. However, we're only going to be doing one layer of the foam because this is a greetings card and I don't want it to get so thick that it would cost more money to post. I'm all about greetings cards that fit with a standard postage stamp. The glue I'm using is called Collall. I really like it because it doesn't bend or wrinkle the cardstock like other glues can do. And I put it into these needle tip applicator bottles. These are going to make it really easy for gluing those detailed layers onto the baubles because the tips of it are just like it sounds, they're needle thin or thick, needle sized. I don't know what I'm saying. They're very thin is what I'm trying to get at. So they'll be able to get around all of those pieces really easily. For the foam squares, I'm using these ones, but there are loads of different types available. We're going to need to start from the bottom and work our way upwards. So let's move the silver piece out of the way. And then we're left with the base card and the swirls to go on top. So let's glue this on. This layer can be left off if you don't want to use it. It's just to create that swirly background to give it some more depth. But if you maybe wanted to cut your base card, say this one, out of a patterned paper, then you might not need this layer to add the extra pattern on top. You may be able to just use your patterned paper. I'm trying to get my glue in all of these swirls because it will stick better with glue in all of those places rather than just around the edge. Now I can pick it up, stick it to my card. The nice thing about glue is you've got that wiggle room, so you can just move it about a little bit to make sure it is exactly in the right spot. And I'm going to gently push down to stick the glue, but I don't want to push too hard because I don't want the glue to smush out of the sides. The next layer is the border, which I've cut from my silver glitter card. And that's going to sit on top. This is really, really sparkly. I don't think my camera's doing it justice. And again, I'm going to glue this one. This is quite thick cardstock, so I'm going to make sure I've got lots of glue on there. Okay, let's get that on the top. It's a little bit fragile because of how those baubles are hanging down. So just be careful that you don't drag all that glue over your project if they don't quite hit the right spot straight away. That's looking good. Again, I'm gently pushing down because I don't want the glue to come out of the sides. All right, so the next layers are the solid pieces of the 3 baubles, and these are the layers I'm going to use my foam squares on to give them some depth and a little bit of pop out from that background. And turn them upside down, and I've used a pair of scissors to just cut my foam pads in half. They were quite big, so by cutting them in half, it's easier to get them where I want them to go, and also I don't need to use as many of them, so that's always a positive. Peel the tops off of the back to get all of the stickiness out, and then I'm going to line them up and push down to stick. And then do exactly the same for the other 2. Big bauble sits on there, and then just one left, which is my green. this one will sit on here. So it's really easy to line this card up. Nice big shapes. And I'm just going to show you the shine on that. It's really, really pretty. If you want to know where this cardstock is from, it's actually from a shop in the UK called The Works. It's their own brand of cardstock and it comes in a pack. So that's for the border. This border is from The Works. And then it comes with lots of different colours of glitter. And it's really good because the glitter doesn't really come off. It only does a teeny tiny bit if you rub hard. And then the 3 colours, these are from cardstock from Hobbycraft. Again, it's their own brand, so it's Hobbycraft cardstock. And they come in packs of loads of different shades of the same colour. So this is actually 3 packs. There's a blue one, a red one and a green one. And they're £5 each. And you get, I think, 21 or 24 sheets in each pack. But it's really nice cardstock. And because it's all the different shades, so you get like 8, I think, shades of one colour. It means they're all going to match. So if you're doing a design that's got lots of shades of the same colour, it's a great pack to pick up. Alrighty, so now we've just got the tops of the baubles to go on, and these are all going to be glue layers because they're really, really thin, so it'd be a bit too tricky to put the foam on. My Cricut didn't like this cardstock I've used for these ones, which is why the back of this looks a little bit torn up because it didn't quite cut it all the way through. But I managed to press all the shapes out and it looks perfect from the front, so I didn't bother recutting it. Number 1. This is a great card for using up scraps of cardstock you've got lying about for these baubles because you only need a teeny tiny bit of each colour. So if you've got loads of bits hanging about like I do, then this is a good card because you don't have to stick to these colours either. You can use whatever colours you want for the baubles. And then this one, last but not least. And there we have it. Christmas bauble, layered cardstock, greetings card, all finished. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make this layered bauble greetings card with a Cricut machine. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for loads more Cricut papercraft projects. I hope to see you again tomorrow for day 8 of the Christmas Craft Countdown. Thank you for watching. Bye!